Okay, so we have some new Ginyu Force cards coming to the Japanese version of the game, and we knew that something was coming just based off that Ginyu Force announcement in the news a few days ago. If you haven't seen it already, if I quickly go back down to this particular post, it says here that on the 21st, we are going to get something in relation to the Ginyu Force, and we now know that Battlefield is coming back supposedly tomorrow, so we have to be on the lookout. But this is very interesting because we have a new LR Ginyu, and it's just weird that the way it works, but of course I will be going over it in this video, and I'll most likely be making a limit breaker analysis on this particular card as well. And obviously once the official translations are out, I will be going way more in depth, so definitely be on the lookout for that limit breaker analysis. We'll most likely do it tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day as always, and if you do enjoy today's video, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you are new. Now let's start off with the Raccoon, and it's just so weird because we've never had like an actual SSR for every single member of the Ginyu Force, so it's interesting, and he has an incredibly low attack set. So let's go ahead and translate it to English, and because I'm just so used to these terrible translations, I think I should be able to give you guys the best possible representation of what these cards can actually do. So for physical type units, 2 key and a 30% stat increase, it causes supreme damage and reduces defense, or greatly reduces defense to specify. He gets an 80% defensive increase, pretty straightforward. So for every time that he gets attacked, he gets a 14% attack increase, and it's up to 70%. That's interesting because we've never had someone cap at 70% before. So the way it's going to work is he gets the 80% straight away, so he has bought a bit more of a defensive unit, and then every time that he is hit, he gets 14% added to his attack with a max of 70. That is very interesting, and I'm not too certain if this is a new link, but Ginyu's Special Force, or of course just the Ginyu Force, is a 25% attack link, and I'm just going to say it right away. There is going to be a Ginyu Force category thanks to this new LR, so if you're, well, you're definitely going to be, if you have the new LR, you're going to be running this category. We don't know if we obtain this new LR Ginyu through the Battlefield mode or if it's summonable. I'm pretty certain it is going to be a banner just because of all the other units on here. But it's that, you know what, we'll get to the Ginyu eventually, because he could be a lead for the Ginyu Force as well, because it makes sense, right, since he is the leader of the Ginyu Force. But we have the LR as well, who is a category lead for the Ginyu Force. But what's happening to the physical LR Ginyu, you know, because you will be able to run both, you know, both the physical legendary rare and his tech legendary rare on the exact same team. So moving on to the rest of the card, of course, he has the Ginyu Force. I'm pretty certain that the aerobic link is shocking speed. He has shattering the limit as well. So when it comes to his attack links, he doesn't necessarily have the greatest ones. The one that stands out the most by far is the Ginyu Force, which again he is going to be sharing with every single unit on that particular category. And his standout key links are the shocking speed link as well as the shattering the limit link. So to be honest, his link set isn't necessarily that bad. It's actually pretty solid, especially for the team that he is going to be on. When it comes down to what he can do, he doesn't necessarily provide that much to an extreme physical team just because it's pretty tanky enough as it is, especially because of units like Omega Shenron and Cooler. Of course, even the new Gallic Gun Vegeta, but the good thing about him is that he does have a decent link set for both of the teams that he is going to be on. So, Raccoon out the way, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Jace. I'm curious to see what he's actually like, but I have a feeling he's going to be very similar to how Raccoon works, and I should probably open all of these cards before the servers get overloaded. So here we go. I'm actually curious to see what Guldo is like, because of course in the series he has very interesting abilities. So the strength attribute gives a 2 key and a 30% stat increase, supreme damage, and 1 turn. It gives a 20% attack increase for all of your allies for 1 turn. It seems like he gives 2 key to your allies, a 20% attack increase, determine enemy's death blow. That is okay. So this is definitely going to be one of the more intricate cards of the set. So I'm actually going to hop over to Berta real quick, and then I'll go back to the Jace. So he gives a 2 key to agility types and a 30% stat increase. Defense rises, giving super oversized damage. Okay, let's just pretend that's supreme. So he gets a 10% attack increase for each orb acquired. Avoids enemy super attacks when with high probability when attacking first. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So the way that he works is that he gets a 10% attack increase per orb obtained, And when you put him in the first slot, he has a high chance of avoiding the enemy super attack. The bad thing about this is that you do have to put him in that first slot, but because of the way that I would imagine this category is going to work, it's not necessarily that bad. And he is going to be solid for Super Battle Road as well, because the rotations for Extreme Agility when it comes to Super Battle Road are honestly very interesting, but because he has that dodging mechanic, I think he is definitely going to be one of your go-to units. Very similar to Caulifla, but the difference is he doesn't counter, and of course he doesn't, and you have to put him in the first slot, whereas with Caulifla, you don't have to put her in the first slot, she just dodges wherever she is. So you're going to have to put him in the first slot for that high probability to dodge attacks, which is decent, but you don't necessarily need that outside of Super Battle Road, but he is also in Yuka, so very interesting to see how he actually performs. But he has the Ginyu Force Link, okay? He has Shocking Speed and Shattering the Limit. How do I think about it? Is this... It should be the Shocking Speed link. A Decision Pose. I don't think that is Shocking Speed, actually. Hold on. Let's have a quick look at the link, sir. Could be wrong. No. Okay, that isn't Shocking Speed. I made a mistake. Hold on, let's have a quick look. I thought it was weird, because... let me have a quick look at this. Let's translate the Ginyu real quick. Because if he does have... See, he doesn't have that particular link, which is what confuses me here. Is this one? Okay, so just to reiterate, Raccoon doesn't have Shocking Speed. That's just a completely different link, which he is still going to share with every single one of these units because it's the pose link. But Berta in general does have the Shocking Speed link, and he is the only one that has it so far. So his main links, for key links in particular, are going to be Shocking Speed and Shattering the Limit, and he also has this aerobic link / aerodynamic, which is the pose link, which he is going to share with pretty much every single Ginyu Force member. But to be honest, I think it's pretty straightforward. He's just a bit of a dodger and a nuker as well, which is, I mean, it's whatever really. His card doesn't interest me that much, but because Extreme Agility isn't that great, then he's going to be a decent addition, especially for Super Battle Road. Now we move on to Guldo, Extreme Tech, but he gives the key to, you know, tech types and a 30% stat increase. He causes either extreme or supreme damage with a medium chance to stun, and the attack and defense of attacked enemies goes down by 20% for 2 turns. They are definitely buffing Extreme Tech. Because admittedly, Extreme Tech does need a bit of help when it comes to Super Battle Road. And he is a decent addition, but, like, again, none of his links necessarily stand out for that team. He has the Ginyu Force link, which is a 25% attack link. He has that pose link, which I would imagine no one on that particular team is going to share apart from the new LR, and Shattering the Limit as well. Is this a new attack link? Hold on. Okay, this isn't a new attack link. That's Brainiacs. It said the minus. I'm like, is that a new attack link? Because I thought that said reduce the attack of your enemies by 10%, which is an interesting, attack link because we don't have anything like that in the game. But it's just a 10% attack and defensive link. But then I think this is part of a different link. So his main key links are Shattering the Limit, and of course you have that aerobic link, which he's going to be having on that particular Ginyu Force category lead, or just Ginyu Force category team, I should say. But the attack and defense down by 20% for 2 turns is definitely very interesting. Now let's have a look at the Ginyu. Okay, so he isn't the lead for a category team, but I'm very excited to see what his passive is like. So in type key 2, and then a 30% stat increase. Attack rises with every single super attack and causes supreme damage. When an enemy is 1, oh no, it's going to be one of these, isn't it? So I would imagine that you get free key when there is 1 enemy. Attack and defense goes up by 70%. Reduce the damage received by the enemy by 50% when there are 2 or more enemies. So he's going to be very good for Super Battle Road because 100% of the time you're going to be taking on more than 2 enemies, or at the very least 2 enemies or more. So he's going to have a 50% damage reduction, which is solid, and he is also going to get a 70% attack and defensive increase. So he's going to make Super Battle Road for Extreme in a whole lot easier. He is honestly very similar to the Rage Trunks, and even Zamasu, but the biggest difference is the fact that he doesn't get more attack or defense based on the amount of health that you have. He is guaranteed to get that 70% attack and defense when at the start of the turn, and then he reduces the damage by 50% when there are 50, or when there are 2 or more enemies, which is perfect for Super Battle Road, but not outside of that, which is a bit of a shame because, again, when it comes to Dokkan events, you're going to be taking on one enemy like 99% of the time. There are very few Dokkan events in the game that allow you to take on more than one enemy. Even the new Rose event, you know, the old one has Zamasu and Goku Black, but now it's just him by himself. So this is definitely more of a Super Battle Road card. I'm very excited to use him if I manage to pull him, of course. He gives a free key to himself when there is one enemy. The attack and defense goes up by 70% is guaranteed. Reduces the damage received by 50% when there are 2 or more enemies. So a very interesting card for Extreme Int. Going to be very good for Super Battle Road. Again, he has that Ginyu Force link. He has that Robot link, Gentleman. He also has Shattering the Limit. So Berta is the only one with that Shocking Speed link. But the good thing is, at the very least, he does raise his own attack with every single super attack. So he is going to kind of be hitting hard. It depends on how many times you super attack with him. And of course, once you move on to the next stage on Super Battle Road, that's going to reset. But I'm very excited to try him out. And now we have the main card that we want to have a look at. So, it gives a free key and a 100% stat increase to the Ginyu Force category. And here's the interesting thing. The cost is 99, which makes me believe that he is going to be obtainable through the new Super Battle Road. Or not the new Super Battle Road, but the new Battlefield mode. Because if you take a look at the summonable LRs, all of their cost is 99. So I'm 99% sure that this is going to be a card that you can obtain by beating the new Battlefield mode. We may even be able to obtain the older Ginyu, which would be insane because you can have both on the team because they have different names. Here it says Ginyu, Son Goku, and then obviously the rest. Whereas in the other one's just, you know, LR Ginyu Force, basically. So you have the... And by the way, he has a bit more of a support here, but I want to go over the links first. He has the Ginyu Force link, Gentleman, the Aerobic link, which is the Pose link. And the interesting thing about this is that he doesn't have Shattering the Limit or Fierce Battle. So here's what I think. I think that he is going to be like the Kid Gohan from Super Battle Road, where you just obtain him instantly as an LR. I think he's going to be just like that. Once you get the necessary currency to obtain him, that's it. You just go straight into your gift box or missions or whatever, and you have him. That is why he doesn't have Fierce Battle or the Shattering the Limit link. He doesn't start off as an SSR or anything. You just obtain him as an LR instantly. So that is very exciting. And to quickly go over the rest of the card, of course, he does cause colossal damage and gives a 30% attack increase to all of your allies for 1 turn. And here's the interesting thing about this is that they are more of a support unit. So he gives a 30% defensive increase, attack of polar side ally and defense. Okay, so he's basically giving an attack increase and a 30% defensive increase to your allies. And he gives an additional 20% attack and defense to the Ginyu Force category. So the 20% attack and defense to the Ginyu Force category is guaranteed. It's just such an interesting thing here because it says attack of polar side ally and defense 30% defensive increase. A polar side ally? I'm gonna have to put the Dokkan subreddit link in the comment section down below because I definitely will, just for a bit more accurate translations. But I think I've pretty much gone over every single unit and explained as best as I can what it can do. Basically, this LR is more of a support unit, and you're most likely going to attain him from the new Battlefield mode, but I'm also extremely confident that you're going to be able to obtain the old LR Ginyu, which you're going to be using on his team. Hopefully, anyway, because they're all what you have. Quickly go over here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can use these 6, or alternatively, if he is in fact obtainable, or the old LR Ginyu Force, for one of these particular units. Most likely Guldo, Rip Guldo, but again, more of a support unit, which is very interesting. And now if we go back to the Jace, it says polar friendly ally. That's just not what I'm getting. I'm just going to take a polar friendly ally. I'm going to take a guess and say extreme allies. I think that's probably the best thing. Attack of extreme allies goes up by and defense goes up by 30%. So attack and defense goes up by 30% for extreme type allies, and an additional 20% for the Ginyu Force category. And then for the Jace, it gives 2 key to extreme type allies and a 20% attack increase and determines enemies' death blow. That is a very interesting part of the passive. Determines enemies' death blow. Oh, I know what that means. You can see the super attack with the Jace. Okay, that's interesting. So he gives a 2 key to extreme type allies, a 20% attack increase, and he can also see enemy super attacks. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain that is what it is. Okay, that is very interesting, but I think I've pretty much gone over them. Again, I'll be leaving the Dokkan subreddit link in the comment section down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Definitely an interesting set of cards. I'm definitely excited to try out the Ginyu and the Jace the most, because if you can see enemy super attacks, that is a dope mechanic. Another great unit for extreme STR. But very excited to see if we are able to obtain the old LR Ginyu. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys found this video useful. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.